disaster or a natural disaster, everyone must be prepared and have a plan, and not just a plan, but a contingency plan as well.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now,
I do.
I told you.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to let you go ahead and talk.
Oh, I told you earlier that I was contacted. I actually read the email this morning, and it was from someone that I know that lives close to El Centro, California. There's a base out there, and in that base, there have recently been Australian soldiers seen, National Guard soldiers, and Marine soldiers. Well, he approached those people, and when he asked them what they were doing there, they said, "Well, we're here. We're waiting on an op order from martial law." And I had to go to that. Go ahead.
Say that one more time.
Yes. There is presently at El Centro's naval base foreign troops such as Australian military, our National Guard, and our Marines. When he approached them and asked them why they were there, they said, "We are awaiting an op order for martial law."
So martial law is on standby. Is that what we can assume?
Well, in the military, you get a warning order and an op order. So
okay.
The warning order always comes first, and the operation order is basically saying it's good to go, just waiting on one final thing. So
we're on the edge.
Yes, that's what he told me, and I went out there myself this afternoon because, it's not that I don't believe the guy because he has no reason to lie to me. But I did drive on there. It was kind of quiet this afternoon. I did see Marines, and I did see Australian military there. I did with my own eyes. However, I didn't see any National Guard unless they were all out of uniform and off duty at the time.
All right. Now, when we talked a little bit about some intel on the border. Do you want to go into that?
Yes. Now, this one could actually get me in a little trouble, but I've come so far, so why back down now, right?
Right.
Well, let's just say your border fence has been being built since 1989. That's when the project started. See, it's unbeknownst to the public because it's a whole, it's a different operation. It's not about immigration. It's about something else. However, recently, as of yet, we have been told that the orders will end come December 31st, yet there is something else coming up with the hiring of approximately 200, 300, 400 personnel command checkpoints, and we're being called off. So I don't know what that's about. I do know that there's a change coming, and no one actually knows what it is.
Okay, so for those that don't understand what she's saying, basically she's been, this operation has been going on since the 80s, and now all of a sudden it's being stopped, and there's going to be a new wave of policing force. Would you say, is that a good word?
Well, a new wave of soldiers coming in to do a job that they aren't telling us what it is, but they have to move us out of the way first.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wanted to talk about recent roadblocks, not roadblocks, but rest areas along major highways.
Okay.
Roadblocks, not roadblocks, but rest areas along major highways are being closed left and right. At least they are in our area. It was closed the end of September and will not be reopening again to 2011, which at this point when it started was about the same time that these foreign soldiers dropped down into NAS, El Centro. So I just want to point that out. I have everybody take a look at that. I did receive a photo from a lady. I won't give her name. She sent me a photo from Illinois, and I think it was Indianapolis, and it was of a tractor trailer pulling what I thought might have been a missile. So I happened to be in an Air Force base that weekend, and I asked the people at the Air Force base, and they said, yeah, look at the top of it. And I looked at the top of it, and they said, yes, it is a missile. And it's quite odd that they would be taking it down the road like that and not having it covered up at all. So it's almost like a show of force is what I'm seeing.
Wow. Do you have any intel or updates surrounding this H1N1 virus?
Well, as far as I know, that I've got intel from some of the people at some of the Navy hospitals. They've told me that it has arrived, but they haven't begun giving them out yet. We have been told we're mandated to take it. We have to take it, but they haven't given us the order to go down and take it yet. At first, last month, I was given from this one major. He gave me precise dates, which is October 15th, first set, and second set, November 15th. However, as of today, I haven't heard anything about that, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay. A couple of questions in the chat room. I'll go ahead and address those. Urban Herbalist asks, are soldiers talking about oath-keeping?
About what?
Oath-keeping.
Yes, more than they know. I've spoken to almost every one of my troops, and my troops at first, when I asked them if they would follow certain things, they said they would without a doubt. If it came from my mouth, they would do it. And I asked them, I said, really, you would do that? And then I explained to them, I said, do you remember your oath? And half the privates that just came out of basic training in AIT don't remember the oath they took. However, the older people that have 10 or more years in, they do remember their oath, and they do know why they joined. They're going to have a lot of trouble, and I think that they already see that. And I think that they understand that the American soldier is not going to stand for it, at least the majority of them, the older ones. So that's why I see a lot of soldiers being deployed overseas here pretty soon.
Okay. Another question in the chat room is, this comes from Boudica. Do you know exactly what all these new cameras and other electronics at intersections are for, and how do they operate?
Sure, I do. As a matter of fact, just north of LA, they were being told that those new cameras are there to videotape vehicles going in and out so that they could see what type of license plate you have, so they can see who's coming in, who's not, and they can run those plates. Also, another very important thing, I don't know if you guys seen the commercials lately, but they're all over the place. There's some commercials out asking the American people to turn in suspicious people. And the way they're doing that is using the Internet. There's a site on the Internet. I don't know what it is, but there is a site. I imagine you just have to Google it, where you can watch all the live webcams in every city and look for crime or potential crime and then report it. That's what they're using it for.
Okay. Another question in the chat room. Lana Kane asks, we are flying to Ontario October 24th for a week. So are they taking over the airports? Are we screwed or what?
I really can't tell you. They're pretty tight-lipped on what they're doing. All I know is that not just myself, every single person in my company knows something's up. Every one of them. None of them are in the dark. I'm not going to say they're all fully awake either, but they know that something just isn't right. Something doesn't smell right. Something is about to happen, and we won't know until 2 days prior, 2 or 3 days prior to it occurring. As far as Ontario goes, I imagine whatever's happening here is going to happen there. I've had a long talk with Trevor from the North Watch, and yeah, they're planning it all over. But as far as intel, as far as flying or any of that, I have no intel on that.
Okay. Would you be willing to come live if you know something that detrimental?
Oh, absolutely. They can't get me to shut my mouth now.
All right. Godspeed, girl. That's all I can say. All right, another question. I'm going to go ahead and keep addressing some of these chat room questions. And this is kind of the benefit of having an account and being able to get in the chat, is because you can actually get interactive like this. Mopme 2008 wants to know if you're going to take the swine flu vaccination, and what about your coworkers?
I am not taking it, and I've already told them that they can court-martial me if they want to. Back during the time of the anthrax shots, when they were mandated and forced upon American soldiers, it only took two people. Two soldiers stood up and said no. And when they said no, they took them to court-martial, and it got dropped. And then now, thanks to those two soldiers in the entire military, no one is mandated to take the anthrax shot anymore. As far as the people that I work with, every single person that I am full-time with is going to turn their back on the swine flu shot. And if it's one person that turns their back, it's one thing. But if the entire company says no, well, my question is, what are they going to do?